Harry has shocked the world again with 2 interviews in which he launches another series of attacks on the royal family and the British press. These are the 10 key moments from his interviews with Tom Bradby and Anderson Cooper. Harry claimed that his brother and sister-in-law failed to welcome Meghan into the royal family. He says that they stereotyped her, accusing them of treating her differently because she's American, divorced, and biracial.
There was a lot of stereotyping that was happening that I was guilty of as well at the beginning. Definitely felt to me as though, unfortunately, that stereotyping was causing a bit of a barrier to them really sort of, introducing or welcoming her.
In his interview with Anderson Cooper, Harry attacks his stepmother Camilla, branding her the villain and dangerous, having ignored a plea from his father not to attack his wife.
She was the villain. She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
Why?
We didn't think it was necessary. We thought that it was going to cause more harm than good, and that if he was now with his person, that surely that's enough.
Harry insisted that anything he says to his family after the release of his book Spare will be private, despite revealing the details of scores of conversations over the previous years. These included attempted reconciliation talks after Prince Philip's funeral and events after the Queen's death.
I don't think my father or brother will read the book. I really hope they do, but I don't think they will. And with regard to this interview, I don't know whether they'll be, watching this or not, but what they have to say to me and what I have to say to them will be in private, and I hope it can stay that way.
Prince Harry claims to Todd Bradby that he didn't accuse an unnamed member of the royal family of racism, 2 years after they told Oprah that there were concerns about how dark Archie's skin would be.
Hold up,
There are several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you
with Harry
about how dark your baby is going to be?
potentially and what that would mean or look like.
At the time, it was awkward. I was a bit shocked.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
In the Oprah interview, you accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even... Well,
the British press said that.
Right.
Did Meghan ever mention that they were racist?
She said there were troubling comments about Archie's
there was
skin
concern
colour.
about his skin colour.
Right. Wouldn't you describe that as essentially racist?
I wouldn't, not having lived within that family.
Right.
So
you
again, going back to the difference between what my understanding is, because
Okay.
of my own experience, the difference between racism and unconscious bias, the two things are different. But once it's been acknowledged or pointed out to you as an individual or as an institution that you have unconscious bias, you therefore have an opportunity to learn and grow from that in order so that you are part of the solution rather than part of the problem.
Harry accuses his family of being horrible to him and Meghan after the death of the Queen. In his book, he accuses his father Charles of being disrespectful while telling him that Meghan was not welcome at Balmoral during the Queen's final hours. William also travelled to Scotland alone.
The day that she died was just a really, really horrible reaction from my family members. And then, by all accounts, certainly from what I saw and what other people probably experienced, was they were on the back foot, and then the briefings and the leaking and the planting. I was like, we're here to celebrate the life of Granny and to mourn her loss. Can we come together as a family? But I don't know how we collectively, how we change that.
Harry claims to want reconciliation with his family, but insists the ball is in their court, and he and Meghan need accountability for the royal family's behaviour.
Well, they've shown absolutely no willingness to reconcile up until this point. And I'm not sure how honesty is burning bridges. You know, silence only allows the abuser to abuse, right? So I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better.
Harry emotionally recounted to Anderson Cooper how his mother's passing impacted him and how he still has questions around the circumstances of her death.
You have the answers that you need to have about what happened to your mom.
Truth be known, no. I don't think I do. And I don't think my brother does either. I don't think the world does. Do I need any more than I already know? No, I don't think it would change much.
Harry again revealed previous details of his drug use, telling Anderson Cooper that he tried psychedelic drugs as a form of therapy.
I would never recommend people to do this recreationally, but doing it with the right people, if you are suffering from a huge amount of loss, grief, or trauma, then these things have a way of working as a medicine.
Harry criticised Donald Trump with an oblique reference to his allegedly harmful and dangerous tweets.
If someone in this country, especially in the US, no names mentioned, tweets or says certain things that are just categorically harmful and dangerous, you have the president and the vice president speak out against it.
And finally, Harry gave this answer when he was asked if he was happy with his new life in America.
I've got 2 beautiful kids and an amazing wife. Like, the happiness in my family now, I have never felt anywhere else before. I guess there's also a lot of people who refuse to accept that I could be happy out here because of what I've left behind. But the reality is I've never been happier.